Shots fired at Democrat campaign office in Arizona, red light cameras now in Jamaica, robber get disarmed but not before shots fired hitting a bar patron, preacher beaten and set on fire. This is Undiluted News, Mikey Bones reporting. Shots were fired at U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris' campaign office in Tempe in Arizona early on Monday, causing damage but no injuries as no one was inside. And this incident follows a prior act of vandalism at the same location just weeks earlier. Police are investigating both incidents which have raised safety concern. And this is the second shooting at that same office in 2 weeks. However, we only hear about the attempted assassination of the Republican personnel. We don't hear any news about this Democrat shooting. Meanwhile, red light cameras are now in Jamaica, but the law does not allow them to start to use that service. The Jamaica Constabulary Force said similar to its international counterparts, Jamaica have the technology in place to photograph and send tickets to the addresses of motorists who run red lights across the country. But motorists who now get away without punitive actions are able to do so because while the technology is in place, it is not supported by the requisite legislation as exists in other global jurisdictions. Commissioner of Police Dr. Kevin Blake said the legislation is being addressed, so watch out Jamaica, you're gonna get charged for driving even while you're fast asleep at home. President of the Vair Taxi Association, Frederick Bryan, is calling for his colleagues to obey the road code. Mr. Bryan's call comes hours after 12-year-old Marla Richards, a student of Vair Technical High, was struck by a bus while crossing the Kempshill Main Road on Tuesday afternoon. She was pronounced dead at hospital. Mr. Bryan stressed that drivers must comply with the speed limit in schools and hospital zones as well as practice defensive driving to avoid these deadly incidents. Meanwhile, 27-year-old Kimona Lissett, otherwise known as Kim, of Riches District in Spaldings and Clarendon, has been charged with housebreaking and larceny, simple larceny and driving away a motor vehicle without the owner's consent following an incident in Carter Hill District, Clarendon, on Wednesday, May 1st of this year. Reports from the Clarendon police are that between 2 p.m. and 8 p.m., the complainant securely locked up his Toyota Axia motor car in his premises and left for the airport. A caretaker for the premises later discovered the vehicle missing. He reported the matter to the police and while doing so, received information that the car had been seen in another location in Clarendon. Acting on that information, the police accompanied the caretaker to the location where the vehicle was identified and it was recovered. On the complainant's return, he attended the police station and identified the car, and it was reported that money and equipment belonging to the owner of the car which had been stored in the vehicle had been stolen. Audio and video footage that was recovered from a dashcam memory card inside the motor car reportedly revealed the voice of a female instructing a man on how to disable the alarm in the vehicle. The now accused woman was later identified by the complainant and was subsequently arrested and charged. Meanwhile, a 33-year-old man has been slapped with fraud charges after he reportedly fleeced a woman who is alleged to be pregnant with his child. The accused has been identified as Charles Brown, a businessman of Hopewell Road in Waterford in St. Catherine. Police reports are that the alleged online scheme took place between March 2nd and September 1st. Reports from the Maypen police are that Brown allegedly agreed with the potential mother of his child to find a place for her business. And police report that upon finding a place to rent, he was entrusted to make monthly payments of $50,000 on her behalf. And from March to September, the payments were sent to Brown's account, accumulating to approximately $450,000. The woman also paid for labor and renovation costs. And during preparations for the opening, Brown, it is reported, told his pregnant girlfriend to leave the business, claiming him to be the rightful owner. And police said it was later discovered that the correct rent amount was $40,000 instead of $50,000. A report was made to the police on Sunday, September 22nd, and on Monday, September 23rd, Brown turned himself in, where he was subsequently charged with the offense, police said. Police investigators are now probing the death of a farmer and an alleged gunman in the Bellas Gate community in St. Catherine on Tuesday night. The farmer has been identified as 20-year-old Jam Mantil Letts, otherwise known as Zongo and Zeng of Coco Ridge, Bellas Gate, while the other man is Odain Jemison, otherwise called Marga Dog, also of Bellas Gate. Reports are that about 9:20, Mr. Letts was inside a bar in the community when Jemison entered the establishment and brandished a firearm. Patrons attempted to disarm him and he was seriously wounded during the tussle, but a bullet was discharged during the struggle and hit Mr. Letts. Both men were assisted to the Spanish Town Hospital where both died. The police reported to seize a Beretta pistol affixed with a magazine containing 12 rounds of ammunition from that scene. And this final story is gross and inhumane. The St. Catherine South Police have launched a search for suspects who attacked and set a man on fire along the Bernard Lodge Main Road last week. The victim, Patrick Simmet, a resident of Old Brighton in Portmore, St. Catherine, was reportedly burnt alive by his attackers. And it is said that sometime after 11 a.m. on Friday, Mr. Simmet was reportedly preaching on a Jamaica Urban Transit Company bus when he was asked to exit the vehicle along the Bernard Lodge Main Road. And shortly after, the Greater Portmore Police responded to reports of a man on fire near the entrance to the Clifton community. On the arrival of the cops, the burnt remains of a human body was seen lying on its back with remnants of tires and wood surrounding it. A fire unit from the Waterford Fire Station was called to the scene to carry out cooling down operations. And investigators are probing reports that Mr. Simmet was beaten and then set ablaze by unknown assailants. In the meantime, the family of Mr. Simmet has said it is shocked and horrified at the manner in which he was killed. His brother Shane Simmet said that the family is in disbelief and want the police to find those responsible. So a man preaching the gospel, and this is what they did to him. The same thing they used to do to Christians 2,000 years ago. On to sports. We're going to start with Manning Cup. We have Stets beating Haile Selassie 1-0. Camperdown and Vauxhall played to a 1-all draw. Jamaica College was ruthless. They did a 9-0 beating of Bridgeport. Excelsior did worse. They did a 11-0 beating of Pembroke Hall. Campion College were 2-0 winners over Penwood, while Kingston College hammered Meadowbrook 7-0 and Jose Marti beat Cumberland 2-1. On to the Costa Cup, New Orleans Stets played to a 1-all draw. Monroe College beat Magotty 3-2, while Happy Grove were 3-1 winners over Paul Bogle, and Titchfield were 3-0 winners over Horace Clark. There was about 10 other matches, but we have not received those reports. It seems to me as if there's too much rain, so all those matches probably were postponed. And that's going to be news and sports on your favorite radio. My name is Mikey Bones. I gone.